Okay, well, I don't really know what happened because I just shot the entire freaking therapy with tarot. So, you know what? I'm just gonna wing it. I was supposed to talk about how to get your kids to meet you halfway, and next week I was supposed to talk about how to get your kids to mind you when you lay down the law. And I'm so done with this dark magic shit that I'm just gonna do both right now. Since it's delaying my day now and I'm supposed to be in bed. Oh wait, I didn't do the talking points. Just so you know, everything you're doing is coming back to you tenfold. From me to you. Told you a million times, don't mess with me. That's only for the people doing dark shit. Everyone else, just ignore it. Let love be your guide. Live a life from love, guided by love. This is about telling your kids to do what they love and follow their gut in life. Like if they want to be a painter, if they want to be an actor, if they want to be a doctor, this is about following your passions and letting your passions be your guide. But also, if your kids don't know what they want to do, instead of harping on, I know that once you get to like junior year, you need to start pushing your kids about what they want to do and stuff, but they need to love themselves. They need to value and respect themselves. They need to learn how to, if they love and respect themselves, they're only going to accept people into their life that love and accept them. It's when you're low vibrational, when you're broken, when you are shattered inside, that you allow bad people to do bad things, or you get the wrong crowd. Like, your kid isn't going to hang out with the wrong crowd if they understand that trouble is bad, and if they have morals and they have goals and ambitions they're working for. You have to give your kids something to work towards that keep them out of trouble. That's why sports are great, activities are great. Like, keeping them on a correct course is by making their passions their number one, helping them see what those passions are. Like, if they're a scholar and they want to go to college, just keep reminding them, like, if you get in trouble, that could cause you not to get accepted into school. If you get caught doing drugs, if you get caught, anything that could mess up your record as far as sports, it could destroy your goals. Like, these are good motivators for your kids to get them to really listen and mind and pay attention and see the bigger picture. But that love should always be their guide. Like, who they decide to be friends with, who they decide to be in love partnerships with is their choice, but they need to also respect that you love them most. And if you feel that they are unsafe, that they should love and respect you enough to hear your opinions, and vice versa. If your kid is saying, Mom, Dad, I hear you, I know that you have questions, I know maybe they have a questionable past, but I'm telling you that they treat me fine, that I'm not putting myself in a situation. And granted, if there's, evidence otherwise, then yes, do your parental thing. But if there isn't, you have to give your kid the benefit of the doubt until they give you a reason not to. Just because they're teenagers doesn't mean they're going to do horrific things. At the same time, it's like a double-edged sword, because if you give them too much room, they're going to act up without supervision. Breathe love into your life. It goes along with it. Like, what you are on the inside, high vibrational, happy, is what you attract. So if your kid is very happy-go-lucky and sweet and energetic, most likely they're going to attract other kids that are like that and play with them. Granted, all kids are different, but, you know, if your kid's the bubbly one in the class, the sweet one in the class, it just benefits their peers. It benefits the teachers, and it benefits the community. Your kid is appreciated and loved because of their morality, because of their moral compass and their goals in life, and that they are supported enough to love themselves, to just be like, boo, 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 I'm so happy, my life is happy, I have no worries. Like, parents work really hard to have their kids be that lighthearted, like to not know anything about money, or like just letting them be a kid is the best gift you can give a little kid, because it gives them so much confidence. They're like, hey guys, hi Mr. Neighbor, hi Postman, hello bus guy. Like, they don't have bad days all the time. Like, sometimes they act up like, I wanted a toy and my mommy said no. It's like their worst problem. You're doing all right, parents. What does your heart want? Be free to manifest your heart's desires. This is about learning to process the feelings. Teens especially have so many questions, so many more questions in their face than we did. Like, especially about sexuality. Like, when I was coming up, it was like nobody talked about, like, you were just straight. Everybody was straight and nobody talked about it. I'm not saying that's right at all. I'm very supportive of LGBTQ, but in this day and age, kids are like, am I non-binary? Am I pan? Am I gay? Am I like, what am I? They have all those questions. Then what do I want to do for a living? Where am I going to go to college? What friends should I make? How should I dress? What kind of instrument do I want to play? What club should I join? What sport should I play? They have so many choices and they get overwhelmed. So just, okay, sweetheart, what do you want to do? What club is calling to you? What sport is like, yes, that's my thing? What friend gives you the biggest belly laugh and you have the most friends with, or the most fun with? Help them choose for themselves with the right decision, not what you want, not what's best for the image in your mind, but help them use the tools in their own shed, box, what have you, to assess the situation and decide accordingly. Well, okay, so I'm going to choose this person, Mom, because this friend makes me laugh. We're very different, but we always have fun. We barely fight. Okay, that sounds like a good friend to me. Great, you decided who your friend is. Okay, you said you wanted to do art class because you like doing art. It makes you happy. I feel like that's a good choice. Like, helping them make decisions for themselves is only going to help them be better adults in the long run. All right, what else do we need to talk about? Spirit? Inner child. Whew, yes. This is when a lot of wounds and hard, difficult stuff can cause a lot of damage to their adult life. Like hearing your parents fight, divorce, moving and having to move away from all your friends. There's very tragic things that happen to your child. And remember, your child's growing up, and everything you do in this child's life is going to become either an inner childhood wound or an inner childhood tool. So remember, how you speak, how you treat, how you raise your kids, everything is going to affect them as an adult. That doesn't mean censor your life and be perfect. It just means, like, when you and your spouse are struggling, it's okay to be honest with your kids. Like, Mom and Dad are hitting a rough patch. You know, adults fight sometimes. Don't feel like everybody's safe, everything's fine. And if you're getting divorced, just keep reassuring them, like, look, Mom and Dad, we're always going to love each other because we made you together, and we're always going to be a family. But It's just going to look a little differently. Mom's going to be here for you. Dad's going to be here for you. And, it's going to be different for a little bit, but it's going to get back to normal. Reassurance goes a long way in solving or abolishing any inner childhood wounds. And also, don't reflect any of your inner childhood wounds on your child. Like, maybe you have resentment. Maybe you grew up poor, so you overcompensate for your kid. That's putting toxicity on your kid. Or maybe you were spoiled and you learned how to work hard later in life, so you're making your kid work overly hard for things. That can be damaging. Like, don't reflect your parents' stuff that happened to you. Don't allow that to inflict in your parenting or how you treat your child. It has to be a completely separate relationship. I think a lot of times as parents, a lot of our problems with our own kids are problems we had with our parents. Change is hard for adults. It's also really hard for your kids. Especially when you're like divorcing, moving away, moving into a new place, like that first being the new kid, saying goodbye to your friends, even if you're not moving, but now you're going to be splitting your time between two homes. That's so earth shaking to them. Anything you can do to just keep that foundation smooth is going to be so beneficial to your kid. Like, mom and dad having a solid schedule. Mom picks me up at this time. Dad picks me. Like, of course, there's going to be things that happen and you got to move it around. But for the most part, dad picks me up at this time. I go to dad's house and mom's house. Like, it's like there's no confusion. There's a routine. It stays. Kids get messed up when parents come in and out of their life, when their routine doesn't stay steady, and when their parents are emotionally unstable, as in fighting. Divorces get messy, using the kids to fight with each other. Just, what did dad say? What did mom say? Like, all that is when it starts becoming wounds and damaging and toxic for your kid. Avoid all of that. Let them know that they are limitless, that they like, their imaginations are true. They really can do anything. Don't put that, like, I hated it as a child when I said, I want to be an actress. And people were like, wow, Lizzie, not many people make it as an actress. So you might want to have a backup plan, Lizzie, because, what if you don't make it? Don't say that to a child. That is the worst freaking thing you can say. I hate that parents are always like, I'm teaching my kid to be a realist. No, you're shitting on their imagination. Why don't you allow them to believe they can achieve it, so that when they are building their confidence, they're not going in auditions with that person's voice in the back of their mind, like, not many people make it, maybe you should quit. Don't put that voice in your child's ear. And anybody who puts that voice in your child's ear, I wouldn't have my child around them. I don't care if it's their aunt. I don't care if it's their grandparent. I don't care if it's their teacher. Change their class. Protect your kid's imagination. Point blank, period. My kid can do anything. Any goddamn thing. And if you don't like that, maybe you shouldn't be a teacher. Maybe you shouldn't be hanging with my kid. My kid said he's going to be an astronaut. He's going to be a goddamn astronaut. Tell me I'm wrong. What? That's how I'm going to be as a mom. My little 5-year-old kid comes out, Mommy, I'm going to be a dinosaur. Yes, you are. I'll tell him when he's older. Let him be a kid. If he thinks he can turn into a dinosaur, cool. It's fine. Get my drift? Be age appropriate. Daddy, I'm going to go to the moon one day. Don't look at your 5-year-old kid and be like, yeah, right, you're not smart enough to be an astronaut. Unnecessary. Okay, I know you're just trying to be realistic, but he's 5. Or she's 5. You know what I mean? They still believe in Santa at 5. Okay? Don't crush their little souls too early. It really does damage their confidence. Signs. Whew. Yes. Pay attention to your kids. Learning disabilities, speech impediments, vision, hearing problems, motor skill issues, awkwardness, like being social. Doesn't mean they have anything wrong with them. They might just need counseling. They just might be extremely shy. Get to know your kid. This will help you be able to communicate with them without words. Like, what's the matter? You're anxious. Are you nervous about something? Are you scared about something? Or what's the matter? You don't feel good? Is your tummy hurting? Maybe you should go to the doctor. Like, always know when your kid is off. This is going to help so much because, like, you know, teenagers, like, knowing when your kid's about to get their period and then, like, snap out at you the week before, you're like, look on the okay, their period's coming. It's just, it's not a mental crisis. You know what I mean? Like, knowing your kid really does take the serious stuff and bring it forward when you need to, and the rest of it, paying attention to your kid is vital to knowing them because they're not going to tell you. Kids, teens don't tell you shit. You're supposed to know, Mom and Dad. You're just supposed to know everything. True story. It's not like these kids come with, you know, pamphlets that tell you how to raise them or what to say. What else do we need to know for our kids? Spirit. Woo. Act how you want. Act for the outcome is what you should teach your kid. If you want the job, you got to act according. You got to speak well, you got to dress well, you got to look well. If you want the friend to forgive you, you have to talk sweet, mean it. Accept responsibility. If you want to be class president, you have to campaign and get people to listen to you and trust you. Act accordingly. Your actions have consequences. These are things and discussions you definitely should be having with all of your kids. And that's going to change through the ages. Like, a conversation with your 5-year-old is going to be very different with your 15-year-old. Act like your 5-year-old will be like, now, is this how we act when we want something? Screaming, yelling, tantruming? Does Mommy and Daddy ever give you what you want when you act like this? No. How do you get what you want? You say please and thank you. You help Mommy. You help Daddy. You're a good girl. You're a good boy. That's how you get things. So act right and you will get what you want. Act wrong and you won't get what you want. Your conversation with your 15-year-old will be like, well, maybe you shouldn't go in there and tell your teacher to go fuck themselves and you wouldn't get suspended from school. You have to act for the outcome you want. If you want to be in that class, if you want to be at that school, then you need to write an apology to that teacher and hope and pray that they let you back in class. Act right. You know, it depends on what the situation is. Your actions are the consequence. It's not the teacher's fault that they had to write you up because you decided to act out in class. That was your action. That was your decision. Own the consequence. Take responsibility for your actions. Very different conversation than your 5-year-olds. You know what I mean? Protection. Let them know that they are safe, that they can come to you, that they can tell you things, that you're not just going to gossip and tell the whole family, that you're not just going to yell at them and punish them if they tell you things. It's a hard balance figuring out how to be a friend when your kid needs it. Like, they do come to you sometimes with things like, Mommy, I had a fight with my friend at school, you know, and it's like they're talking to you like you're another friend, and you're kind of giving them friend advice, so you're stepping out of the parent, like, well, when I had friends, you know, if one of them was mad at me, you know, you're not exactly to them a parent in that moment, you're a confidant, you're like a confidant, a counselor. They come to you, they feel safe, they trust your judgment, so don't abuse it. Don't trick them, be like, go over there and tell them that they're a bitch. And they're going to forgive you if you do that. They're going to laugh and think it's funny. And then you ruin that kid's friendship, and you're over there laughing, and that kid trusted you. You know what I mean? Don't damage your kid's trust. But making them feel safe and protected goes a long way. The more secure and loved they feel, the more that they want that and other things. Like they're going to date people that also protect them and are loyal to them, like their family protects them and are loyal to them. It really is like your family life, what you see, how people act around you, that really is how you associate what relationships are in your adult life. So remember that and protect them by not allowing like low vibrational shit in your life to happen either. Thrive, Birdie. Tolerance. Kids need attention 24/7. They are very selfish. They don't mean to be, but it's me, I, especially in teen years, because they are learning about themselves. They have to figure out what they want, where they're going with their life, who they are, what their sexual orientation is. They have all of these things that they need to decide about themselves, and it makes them completely selfish. But they have to be, because this is the time where they're developing into adults. Just allow them, understand that they're going to grow up and be sweet people. They're going to think of you. They're not going to just be about money and this forever. It's just a part of being a teenager. Don't allow them to be snarky, ungrateful assholes, though. But at the same time, recognize it's just about being a teenager. It's not that they don't love you. They're not turning into monsters. Just they're selfish in nature, because that's how you find yourself. You have to force yourself to only focus on yourself and give time to yourself to be able to develop into anything. Just as adults, we can't do that because we have a million other things on our plate, like work, bills, kids. When you're a kid, that's all you have time for. It's yourself. So it's the appropriate time to just be focusing on yourself. And you need to connect with your kid. Every one of your kids is going to be different. You're going to have to nurture and boost this and give it time. As your kid grows, they're going to become more independent and want to spend less time with you. Fight that as long as possible. Here's why. By you showing your willingness all the time to hey, it's Thursday. You come home and you eat dinner with mom every Thursday. I don't care what Tom, Dick, or Harry is doing that day. Thursday is mom's day. That steadiness. Sometimes it might be annoying when they have stuff to do and they might seem ungrateful, but it means the world to them. When they grow up, they're going to remember that you always did those things. You had traditions, stick to it, because they're going to go away at 18 and then they're going to be gone till they're 21 and then forever. So spend time with them. They're going to change and grow every year. They're going to be different. They're developing and learning and adapting. Learn with them. Spend that time with your kid. Individual one-on-one time with your kid is vital to healthy parenting and healthy relationships. And that's also how you get to know your kids, so you know when something's wrong and how to help them. They also put everything on social media. Try not to let it frustrate you, but you're going to have to teach them some morality there as well. It's not just about dating. It's not just about allowing people into your life to be friends. The consequences of what you put on social media can damage your college career and your professional career. These are all things that you need to instill in your kids in this day and age as well. Miss Marvel, I am part of something bigger. Yeah, you need to help your kids see the bigger picture. By being a helper for your community, by being a role model, by being sweet and nice. That's going to open so many doors for you over being salty, over just thinking about yourself all the time. Always trying to do the right thing can get annoying, but at the same time, this is how you become a good person. Domino, I'm always feeling lucky. They're going to tempt you. Their job as kids and teenagers is to roll and test the system for cracks. They're very intelligent. They're not stupid. They're going to come out with stuff, and You're going to have to think about it for a minute. Like, don't sleep on no teenagers. They love them loopholes, and they will find them. My parents had hell with me. Loopholes. If there was one, I would find it. Well, yeah? Well, you said I couldn't do this, and that I couldn't do this, and that I couldn't do this, but you didn't say I couldn't do that. So technically, you can't ground me, because I didn't do things you told me not to do. Yep. You got those intelligent kids? Oh, they're going to try it. There is a good and a hero in every teenager, and it really just depends on the day. For the most part, teach them to be this one. We all begin somewhere, exactly. Tell them, you're going to fail a million times in life. You're going to fail more than you're going to succeed. You're going to try things and dislike it more than you try things and like it. The point is to keep trying, keep doing, keep getting up until you achieve what you want. It is not about what other people say or what other people think. It's about what you say and what you think of yourself. Everybody has to start at the bottom. You got this. Be a motivator for your kid. Being right never feels wrong. Oh my God, those teenagers, they just think they know everything. That's just a part of being a teenager. It's super annoying. But stick to your guns. You have to keep saying this. I've been around the block too. I'm a lot older than you. I just listen to your mother. How many times did you hear that growing up? But it's true. Like, they're mouthy. They're gonna be mouthy. Don't engage in negative behavior that's just gonna turn into a catty fight with your kid, because no, that's probably the outcome that they want. They can shut you down with an argument by going to the room and slamming the door. We're not arguing. Sit back down. Don't raise your voice. Use your talking skills. Come on. You have to. They're not going to be the adult. They're going to be like, I'm right and you're wrong. You could literally show them the proof that you're right and they're wrong, but oh no. Nope. They're still right. It's just part of being young. We do this a lot as parents. I'm sure. Yes. 10 of Pentacles, they're always about that money. You gotta financially support them, but this is teaching your kids the value of money, how hard you work for the things they have, being appreciative. I know I paid more attention in class because I knew my mom was a single mom and she was paying extra money for me to go to that class. That makes your kids appreciate it. Like, look, I'm giving you my time, which is very limited. I'm giving you my money, which is very limited. Take it seriously. Work hard. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my money. Those are good motivators for your kids. They understand a lot more than we think and give them credit for. Yeah. Sometimes it's going to cost money to get your kid progress if they have a talent. Don't let it break your bank or your family. But if you feel like investing in your child is something you need to do, just make sure that your kid is okay with that and don't make it their whole world. Just remember they're a kid. They're going to have a million years to work. You know what I mean? Let them have fun. But I think money is a great motivator for kids as well. If you need them to do something, if you need them to do chores, I'll give you $100 if you make honor roll this marking period, or I'll give you $100 if you make it to the state championships with your team. Like, money is a great motivator for your kids. Huge. They're highly motivated by money because most of them can't get a job yet. 5 of Cups. They deal with a lot of sadness with their hormones, and, men, woman, it doesn't matter. I feel like from 12 to 14 is a very heavy hormonal change and a lot of imbalances happen. This would be a good time to check in with a psychiatrist if they're really struggling, if you notice they're not taking care of themselves, if their grades are dipping. Depression is huge with teenagers, and I think we brush it under the rug like, oh, they're teenagers, they're supposed to be doom and gloom. No, sometimes they genuinely have an imbalance and they need your help. Yeah. They're always coming in with the drama. Everything is so tragic. End of the world. Melodrama after melodrama after melodrama. Spirits like you need to stay cool, calm, and collected through their melodramas. When you feed into the melodrama, it's like amping the fire. It's like flaming the fire. Don't do it. Don't. They're young and immature. They're gonna be all about that drama, ruled by their emotions, popping off at the mouth. That's not how you're supposed to act. Be the parent, be like, hey, don't talk to me that way, or it's not okay for you to be this sad. I think you need to talk to someone. You don't need to struggle. The hermit, yes. Teenagers love to be alone. They love to be alone with their friends or on their own. Don't take it personally. It's all part of finding out who you are. Abundance in reverse, luck, resolution, and loss. So like when they strike out, or when you don't have enough money and they have to like say no to something, or this is like they don't feel good enough for something, worthy of something. Then we have resolution and loss. So it's like when they still put the work in but fail. Why is this here? Yeah, understand that any rejection to a kid is devastating because they don't have the tools in their box to be able to handle any sort of rejection. They cry, they carry on when they lose, when they don't get what they want, because they're supposed to be immature. But understand and be, like, you have to be the friend in that moment, but also the parent. Like, this is going to happen, like, not everybody's going to like you, not everyone's going to want to be your friend, not everyone's going to be on board with your skill. It doesn't mean that you aren't good enough. It doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that they don't like you. That's fine. They can go on with their life. Not everybody has to like you. Just reassuring them that they're awesome, that you're the coolest. I love hanging out with you. Like, who wouldn't want to be your friend? I mean, you're my best friend. You don't need them. Like, I say that to my nephew all the time. He's very shy. He struggles to make friends. I'm like, I'm your best friend. I need those friends. And it makes him smile because he's doing a lot better now that he goes to school. Last time I took him to the playground, he ran right up to a stranger and started talking to him. A year ago, he wouldn't have done that. So, like, we're coming out of the shy phase. But he was struggling, and he would always be like, Wizzy, they don't want to play with me because I'm weird. I'm like, there ain't nobody weirder than me. So, I'll play with you. And he's like, we play all the time. I resort back to my 6-year-old self just so he has a playmate for the day. We play swords. Yeah. I act like I'm 6. It's actually kind of fun for me. But I can only do it in spurts because I'm old and I'm out of shape. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Hope it gave you some advice for your kids. I'm ending the parenting series. I did have another one, but I just kind of scrumped them together. Next week, we're starting the life coaching therapy session, and we are doing how to figure out your purpose, your thing, or what you're supposed to do with your life. This is the best one, I think, and I saved the best for last, and we're going to have 4 more weeks of that. So stay tuned for next week. I hope this one saves. Good Lord, I will cry. Love and light. Toodaloo, boo-boos, boy.